Yo, what's up? Hey, it's Dominic DeAngelo, Studio1Sports.com. And we're live to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl halftime show and what could that mean for WWE and how WWE could capitalize on what I thought was a really, really good halftime show. Boy, if you tune in and you've been staying abreast of what's been the discourse regarding this halftime show with Bad Bunny, extremely polarizing. So polarizing. So many people had opinions. So many people had thoughts and speculation and how this is the end of football. This is the end of society as we know it. And people made their decisions. Hey, I'm going to not watch the halftime show. I'm going to watch this halftime show. I'm going to enjoy this halftime show. I'm going to do this. So everybody, a whole lot of stuff was made about this halftime show. And I have to say, I really liked this halftime show for several reasons. But before we do that, we are live here on Studio1Sports.com. Live on Rob Van Dam's YouTube, X account, live on my X account at Dominic DeAngelo. And thank you all for tuning in right now. We almost have 300 people chatting in live. Well, tuning in live via X and YouTube. If you're tuning into X, be sure to go to Studio1Sports.com and join in the interaction. And be sure to hit like and subscribe, as you know we're all supposed to say nowadays. So, man, let's say hi to some folks in the chat here, though. Triple E and Maddie, two regulars, two of my heavy hitters in the house. Wow. Triple E says this: Bad Bunny performance tied up with Michael Jackson, then Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, Eminem, then Kendrick from last year. But I'm biased because I enjoyed those artists for years. Tied up with MJ as the best performance. MJF, how about that? Then the top three commercials: Xfinity, Jurassic Park, Ben Affleck, Good Will Hunting, Dunkin' Donuts, Levi's Jean compilation. I have to give a shout out to the prostate one, the tight ends. I thought that was really well done with Bruce Arians and all the famous tight end football players. Really fun stuff. Something that made me, I took a note of this Super Bowl is like, I kind of don't care about the commercials anymore. I just don't. Like, my attention can be grabbed in some other places. I did like the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial. I thought that was a great homage to a lot of 90s sitcoms and such. So I thought that was really clever. A lot of AI stuff going on. Don't know how I necessarily feel about that. But yes, still nonetheless, very, very entertaining stuff. Maddie's also in the house. Ooh, yeah, go Seahawks. Go Seattle Supersonics. LOL. Yeah, you can see here I'm wearing a Jets jersey, but it's not just any Jets jersey. It's the Sam Darnold Jets jersey. That's right. That Super Bowl winning quarterback. He used to play for my New York Jets, and I'm very happy for Sam Darnold. There was no chance that he was ever going to win a Super Bowl in the climate that is the New York Jets franchise. So I was sad to see him leave, but I always rooted for him, and I'm really, really, really happy that he beat the Patriots, especially during that year when he was getting lit up by the Patriots and he made the comment that he was seeing ghosts. And then so many people did not let him live that down. And man, he got him back tonight. So it was awesome to see. Really happy for Sam Darnold. And like, I'm not a big Seahawks guy. Like, I'm really typically not, but man, it was neat to see Sam Darnold get the win there and kind of just put the Patriots in their place. As a Jets fan, you're always going to love that. So cool stuff. Let's see who else has joined us here. We have Caspian. It's negative 10 degrees in Western New York right now. LOL. Yes, it's very cold here in Pittsburgh as well. I was at the bar for like the first half of the show, of the football game. And like, so I left a little bit early, like before halftime, because I was like, I don't care if I missed the commercials. I was like, I want to get back in time for the halftime show. And so I did. I got back to my apartment here just in time for the halftime show. And let me say, like, so I listen and check out a lot of different shows, sports shows in particular. Um, and, some get really topical and political and blah, blah, blah. And like what I was hearing from, and I listen to, when it comes to politics or whatever, it's just like I kind of take in every side, and then I make my own assessment and how I feel a certain way. Like I don't, like I've said before on shows and stuff like that, I don't have a tie to a political party, don't consider myself any which way or whatever. Because I just I don't like tying myself. I just don't trust politics. But either way, uh, but I do watch. I watch set like different mediums and all that kind of stuff. And like so, the like there was podcasts you would hear like, oh my god, this Bad Bunny halftime show is going to be detrimental and bad, and the NFL is a disgrace, and they're getting away from, like, hey, why aren't we having like bands like Metallica play at halftime, and why aren't we doing this? Well, guess what? We're coming up with our own halftime show. It's yeah, it's just it's a really, I don't know, lots of terms you can use for it. I think it's one thing you don't like the music. First, let's lay this out here. Is if you watch football, if you're a football fan, you're gonna watch a Super Bowl. Okay, you're gonna watch it. So the halftime show is not necessarily for you. Okay, if you're a football fan, like the halftime show is to get more people to watch the football game than just football fans. This is a thing about wrestling, okay? Wrestling fans are very ardent and very strong in their beliefs on how wrestling should be portrayed and how they enjoy their wrestling. And you'll see a lot of times fans will get upset when you bring a celebrity in to wrestling. Wow, Bad Bunny. How about that? Or like you name a celebrity that doesn't fit. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't in pro wrestling, okay? Like, and it's hard. If a celebrity just does it to get a paycheck, aka Jeremy Piven in Summerfest, in comparison to a Hugh Jackman who invested himself into the show, or a Bob Barker, like, then you'll get a different reaction. But what you do when you bring a Bad Bunny into WWE, you're attracting a wider audience than just pro wrestling fans. Same goes for the NFL. Same goes for this halftime show. Okay? This halftime show, honestly, I could not name you one Bad Bunny song, not a title. If I could probably pick up on like hearing, obviously, like, he sings in Spanish, and I know his voice and stuff like that. So if you were to play me a Bad Bunny song, I'm pretty sure I could probably, hey, that's Bad Bunny right there. But there's no way I could name you a song. I can't sing along to the song because I don't speak Spanish. But I was intrigued to check this halftime show out. Very intrigued. And once it started up, what a fun ride. It was a blast. And what all like certain podcasts and certain sports talk shows and what a certain, like vibe or thought process was like, Bad Bunny's gonna do all this wild stuff that gonna separate and take people away from their beliefs and like separate and divide the country. And in a way, like, as it always seems to do with halftime shows and, certain things, like that whole notion is, oh, we're divided. And like, yeah, you go on social media, certainly it's divided. Like, what people want to see Bad Bunny halftime, other people don't. Like, and like, hey, like your music tastes are your music tastes. It's totally fine, and like music is subjective, art is subjective, all that stuff. However, like what I took away from it is the complete opposite of what I'm just going to say it from this standpoint, because just to make it clear, a great deal of like the conservative fan base of football took exception with this Bad Bunny halftime show. Like, and I don't mean to pigeonhole or label, but like, just to make it clear, it's just that's the demographic that was going against it. And like, you see a lot more younger people, and you could maybe even do this by age if you want to a certain extent. Obviously, like, younger people know who Bad Bunny is, like, and older people don't. Doesn't mean he's not popular, because he certainly is popular. That's why they put him on the show for halftime. So, what am I getting at here? Well, this is what I want to say too. So, I consider myself a religious person. I don't frequent church or do a whole lot of that stuff, but I certainly consider myself religious. A lot of this conservative and thought process behind this halftime show was like, Bad Bunny's going to be anti-religious, or, preach this different secular kind of vibe to it. I did not get that whatsoever for this halftime show. As a matter of fact, he said, "God bless America" in the show itself. And guess what? If you're looking at it from a perspective of, man, we need something, a feel good kind of thing, because everything seems so down in today's world. This felt like a very, very positive environment, like that was created for this halftime show. Like, I didn't understand a word of it besides from a couple words, but I understood that it was positive. It had a good outlet. People were happy. You saw people from all ages. Certainly there was a Puerto Rican focus with it all, but Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. Like, what do you expect? And then you did have Lady Gaga in there, but like, you saw people from all ages and all genders and like everything. It was really, really cool. And it was a vibrant, uplifting kind of good vibe. That's what I constantly read on social media, on X, was like, this was a vibe. Like, Corey Graves said it, like, he's like, you may not understand it or hear it or get what it said, but it was a vibe. I think, well, maybe JJ Watt said that. I can't remember. Corey Graves mentioned, this was obviously a lot of discourse on social media, but look, I thought this was really well done. And like, if you were to pull somebody in, like I think from like the mindset of both, like, sure, I think like the people that came to see Bad Bunny, this delivered. If you were adverse to seeing Bad Bunny and had your own assumptions about how this was going to play out, I would implore somebody to just watch it with an open mind and understand, okay, if I'm willing to accept that he's not singing in English and just take this for what it is and watch it, I don't know how you could kind of like dislike this or think this was like something super polarizing or like, certainly like I mean, I think everything to an extent has an agenda, but I don't want to say like the agenda that you might have been assuming was going to be going, because I don't think that got the point across. I thought this was a show that showed more possibility of people uniting rather than being divided. Because, if you look at it from a Hispanic perspective, I think that this really painted a picture of optimism and like hope and like the American dream in certain ways. So I think this was really a well done show, halftime show. And like, I don't know, I would really, I mean, it's a shame that people would just be like, nah, I'm not going to watch it because this, I don't, and that's fine. I mean, like, like I said, the halftime show is not for you, but I mean, like, when I watched it, I was like, man, how do you find any hate in this? Like, I didn't find any hate in it. All right, let's see what people had to say. People were chiming in here like crazy. Let's see. Oh, here's some good comments here. We'll start with Anthony Manzano. 3551. Honestly, people who are complaining about that this threatens that they're going to boycott the NFL, they never do. They never follow through, brother. So I don't understand why we give them credence. I think this seems like an every year thing. Like, I don't like the halftime show, so I'm not going to watch it. Well, you don't have to. But I mean, like, that's up to you. Like, he also adds, people ignore the fact that the NFL has been trying to expand into the Latin American market for the past 30 years. Yeah, right? I mean, like, I don't know to the levels of all that, but I certainly do feel that you know, there has been a more heavy focus with the Hispanic community. Um, I mean, like, you think about like Raiders fans. Whenever I think about the Oakland or Los Angeles, or what are they now? The Las Vegas Raiders, I think of Hispanic culture and quite a bit with that. So yeah, and like big time. Like, I mean, like, there's a lot of Hispanic people that are Cowboys fans too. We got Hispanic Jets fans. It's a melting pot. America is a melting pot, and this felt like a cool thing. Like, listen, the one thing I really wanted out of the halftime show, that I was like, man, they're having trumpet players and they're having like violinists. Like, this was a really talented halftime show. And not only that, I was just like, man, like, when I think of like, Hispanic and all that kind of stuff, I'm just like, boy, how great would it have been if Bad Bunny like roped in Herb Albert to play the trumpet there. Now, Herb Albert's not Hispanic, but he certainly is known for Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. Hey, Razor, hey, get down, get. Sorry, he's being bad. Come here. He was mouthing off to me when I told him to knock it off. He was sniffing something on the counter. Anywho, I really enjoyed this halftime show. Like, I thought it just felt so positive. It felt really, really positive. And like, the message was good. Like, he had the football that said like football is for all Americans or something like that. It was just good. Wholesome. It was wholesome. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a wholesome halftime show. Let's see here. Husafel says, kind of boring to me. Hey, that's fine. It isn't. Like, the halftime show, yeah, it might not be your cup of tea, which is all right. I just don't think it was divisive or hateful in any manner. Like, the only thing that was divisive about it is if you just didn't want to hear it in Spanish. That's it. But I mean, it certainly is not if the halftime show wrecks the country, I think we're already we've already been split, everybody. It's kind of that. Oh, that's a true point. Caspian says, you're not seeing Seahawks fan unite with Pats fans. That's factual. That is indeed factual. Let's see. The Triple E says it only took 20 minutes for Razor to chime in. LOL, what's he sniffing? Catnip? Snort him or smoke him if you got him. LOL. He's sniffing some. I had cauliflower pizza on the counter, and I'm like, I don't want him to get into stuff he's not supposed to. I don't think he is, but so there we go. All right. So what does this mean for WWE exactly? Oh, here. Before this, I got it in Boston. That's right. They had the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. So shout out to Maddie. That's a long-standing inside joke, I guess, with the RVD TV community here. Let's see here. Also, did you notice? I think it was it the NFL? They tweeted out OTC, like in reference to Roman Reigns. Now, they didn't show Roman Reigns, but it was in reference to something going on. But I was like, wow, WWE's everywhere, man. But speaking of WWE, how could you tie this into WWE? I mean, you want a money WrestleMania match. So somebody in passing asked Logan Paul if he's excited for the halftime show. And if you've been following along on social media, Jake Paul made a real big X post speaking against the Bad Bunny halftime show. And so Logan Paul was asked if he's excited for the Bad Bunny halftime show. He just flat out said no, and then like walked by real quick. You want to make money, WWE? Get Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Don't know how much Bad Bunny, what his schedule looks like to any extent, and if this could be a feasible option. But man, I mean, yeah, the country or some viewers may be invited, but like you have a clear cut heel in Logan Paul. Bad Bunny was a big time baby face tonight. I mean, I think for the majority of people, polarizing, yeah, because of the halftime show itself and the whole discourse that's been going around it this past since it's been announced for the past couple months. But Razor, hey, he's under the couch right now. But like this, if you get Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul, that's big time. I think Arrow Hawani made a tweet about it too. When the Logan Paul clip surfaced, he was like, "This is WrestleMania. Your WrestleMania match is right here." And you know what? You want to really hammer home like night 1 and 2 of WrestleMania. You get Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny on one of the nights, and then you get CM Punk and Roman Reigns on another night. You're set, man, for WrestleMania. You are set. Anthony chimes in. Dom, the people who are saying this guy is not American are ignorant and are uneducated. They don't realize Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. That's right. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. And I thought it was cool, like that, like they had all those flags, and he was like shouting all those other countries and territories out. And then there's the American flag there too. It was just like an opportunity to unite everybody. Everybody's going to look at it as like so divisive because, oh, he's singing in Spanish and I don't understand it. And I don't know. I just don't think that's the right mindset to have. I thought it was a super positive, uplifting, wholesome halftime show. Like there's nothing. I mean, like there were some attractive ladies for sure. That's for sure. But I mean, there was nothing like, oh my God, like this is too much. Like what has society devolved into? Like, I don't know. Like if you go back to, and even in the early 90s, I was just talking about the show in Living Color to a coworker today, and I was like, remember when I was like, I just found out, and I didn't remember this, but Living Color had a live halftime show during the Super Bowl at one point. But either way, that's not what I'm referencing. And Living Color had the dance team, Fly Girls. That's where J-Lo came from, and they would do all those kind of moves that those girls were doing here at the halftime show. So I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought it was wholesome. And like I think WWE could super duper capitalize on making Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. Like that's money for Bad Bunny and Logan Paul and WWE. And like you can tap into that divisiveness, which really, controversy creates chaos, as Eric Bischoff has said. And so you want to do something like that, that's doing it because you can position Bad Bunny as the babyface, Logan Paul as the already established heel. Two celebrities fighting it out. You can even make it a tag team if you want. I don't know. So, something to think about. Is Bad Bunny the mystery man that attacked Braun Breaker? Are we going to get Braun Breaker and Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny? And give me a name. Give me a babyface name that doesn't have a match for WrestleMania. And Sami Zayn? I don't know. That's one I'm just thinking of. Add in Jelly Roll. Yeah, Mania Vegas. Anthony says, I don't think it's as divisive as we think. It's just certain people are blowing it out of proportion. Well, I mean, that's with everything. You know what I mean? Like everything gets blown out of proportion. I think that, I don't think it should be as divisive as it is, but I think it kind of is just because of the rhetoric that goes around. But again, if you're living on social media it's not just social media, I think the media in general has made this a divisive topic where it really shouldn't have been. And all the speculation that's going around of how it is, like people were labeling Bad Bunny as a cross dresser and like some are even saying it's like satanic. And it's just like, dude, come on. No, it's not. All right. He said, God bless America. He said, like, I don't know what you want. I thought it was a super positive and fun halftime show and really creative. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. I wanted to go on here after the show, after the football game, and talk about it a little bit. Austin showing up at Mania. He lives in Vegas. I don't know if Austin lives in Vegas. I think, doesn't Austin live? Maybe he lives in Nevada, but I don't think it's Vegas. Oh, man. Maddie says if Austin RVD show up, it would be huge. It would be huge, right? It would be big time. Marcus DeAngelo tags with Bad Bunny. Absolutely. Wow. How about that? Triple E also adds if WWE really wants to make money, they had to book Marcus D'Angelo versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title with Marcus going over. Oh my gosh. Couldn't imagine that. Caspian chimes in about cat negotiation. The two steps to cat negotiations are step 1, give the cat whatever they want. Step 2, end of negotiation. I know, Razors. He's up to something. He got riled up. I got riled up. I thought this I was happy that Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. Seahawks. My nephew Breck is very happy because he's a big Seahawks fan. So congrats to Breck. But yeah, I like this halftime show. I hope people maybe that didn't watch it with an open mind and realize like there was nothing divisive about that at all. And it was very uplifting, positive, vibrant, and wholesome. And it's wholesome being with you guys today. Tomorrow, RVD and I will be going live at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on rvdtv.com. So be sure to check that out if you're tuning into X right now. We almost have 600 people tuning in live, so thank you so much. If you're tuning in via X, go to studio1sports.com. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, more things planning. And if you did not catch the announcement, this week on Wednesday, we will be having a podcast, a new podcast joining Studio One Sports. And it is indeed, speaking of my degenerate brother, it involves my degenerate brother, the top 1% with EC3. It will be debuting on February 11th here on Studio One Sports on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts as well. Marcus, my brother, and EC3 will be talking the ins and outs of the current state of the independent wrestling scene and how to survive in the business here and make things. Razor is such a chaos agent right now. But yes, so be sure to check that out. That'll be dropping on Wednesday, February 11th on this channel on studio1sports.com. So be sure to like and subscribe here and help get the word out about this channel with more stuff to come. But looking forward to joining you all tomorrow for Rumor and Innuendo, which is also live on here now every Monday through Friday. Me and Robert Karpelis, WE Creative _ish, former WE writer, we'll be talking about this halftime show. We'll be talking about what went down on SmackDown, which I still have to catch up on, and any else of the ongoings as we head towards WrestleMania. So thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time here on StudioOneSports.com. Go see